it's me, Courtney, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about some products that, I don't know, I've been holding on to for a really long time, thinking that I'm gonna use them again, give them a second chance, third chance, fourth chance, fifth chance for some of these products. Some of the things have just been sitting in my drawers and I'm just like, I have to purge, I gotta get rid of some stuff. So if you are interested in what those products are, please continue to watch. All right, so the first product that we are going to be talking about today that I am about to purge from my makeup collection, the Makeup Revolution and Patricia Bright. I believe this is the Rich in Color palette. I actually never picked up the Rich in Life when I was going to, but kind of after using this one I was like, yeah, maybe not so much. I feel like I really fell in love with the idea of the colors and what this palette could be. I really like the lime greens and the yellows and every color that's in here. Like, I love vivid, bright colors. So this really spoke to me. The problem with this palette ends up being, one, I literally used it I think twice. I think you guys saw when I used it, I did like a green look a while ago and I used the color No Exit, which this color to me is like a beautiful green, red, glittery kind of, it has like a bunch of different shimmers in there. I really do appreciate that color, and even the texture is like a putty. So I love that. I wish that they would have done this texture with the rest of the shimmers and the rest of the stuff in the palette, because everything else in this palette is not the greatest. The mattes to me don't blend that well. They kind of stick a little bit. They're really patchy. Some of them don't even show up at all on my skin tone. And then the shimmers to me don't really shimmy. You know what I mean? It's just, they're very bland. They don't really pack a punch. And to me, the glitters that are in the palette are super duper chunky, like you can feel them on your eye type chunky. I had so much hopes for this palette. Like, I thought I was gonna get a lot more looks from it, but I really haven't been using it. I'm gonna actually end up giving this to my daughter to sort of play with, but for me, it's just, it has to go. All right, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about that I am getting rid of, it's not like a horrible product, but it's just one of those things I just haven't been using. It is the Covergirl TruBlend Matte Made Foundation. Now, I picked up the shade 270 in Caramel, and I also have T80 in Toasted Caramel. Now this T70 is more so for like my everyday shade. T80 is more when I'm tan. The funny thing is, this is not a bad foundation at all. It's a pretty decent matte coverage. It has a really nice shade range, especially for Covergirl, but we won't go into that. I actually used this for a pretty good amount of time when I initially got it. And you know, like in the summer, how like your makeup might get a little melty, it doesn't necessarily last, you get a little bit oily, a little bit greasy, a little bit sweaty, that kind of thing. This foundation actually worked really well on my dry skin, and it didn't look super dry or anything like that. It works especially if you have oily skin and you're looking for a really nice matte foundation that's not uber expensive, you know what I mean? But if I am being honest, I do have other matte foundations in my collection that this just does not stack up to. For example, I have the Too Faced Born This Way matte foundation. Love. That's one of those lets your skin breathe. It doesn't even ring as matte as you would think, but if you are somebody that needs a like super duper matte foundation because you do have a little bit more of an oily skin type, I would definitely suggest the NARS Soft Matte, I want to say, foundation. So while I say it's not a horrible foundation, it's not for me, and I kept it because I kept thinking I was going to use it again, but honestly I built up my collection to the point where these can go. Ooh, this next one hurts my feelings just a little bit. The next one is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. I got the shade 334 Warm Sun in this one. Now, when I initially picked this up, the shade range was pretty basic. This is a beautiful full coverage foundation. This one's more of like a satin smoothing blurring type of situation, and now it does say that it's more of a matte foundation. To me, it does come off a little bit more satin, a little bit more breathable. I love this foundation. However, when I tell you Oompa Loompa status, like straight orange, like it'll go on your skin beautifully, you'll put your makeup on and it looks great. An hour later, it oxidizes so bad. I don't think I've ever had a foundation to oxidize as bad as this one does. Like I said, I got the shade 334 and I did try the shade before, which I want to say is toffee because I feel like Maybelline toffee is what I usually get, but it's still not the right undertone, and I think this one would have matched had it not oxidized so bad. Aside from the oxidation, like I would keep this if it did not make me look like a complete, like a clown, really. I look like a clown, that's what it was. And it lasted all day. Like, it's one of those foundations that I would still recommend to people if you don't have the same problem. Like, if you try it and you don't oxidize, I bet you would love this. Like, it's one of those, but for me, just the way that it sits on my skin as time goes on, as far as the color of it, it's not workable. I can't do it. So this one is the next one to go, even though it does break my heart. Alright, so the next products I have, they're not so much heartbreakers as they are like every time I look at them I get a little upset. It is the Fenty Beauty cream bronzer and blushes. Like, I wanted these to work out so bad. Now in the bronzer, it's called the Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Bronzer. I got the shade 05 Teddy. The next shade up was a little bit too rich for my skin tone. And now this specific color in general does not show up on my skin tone. I don't even really have a shade in this bronzer, but it wouldn't have mattered because honestly, this is one of those cream bronzers that is super duper sticky, super tacky, and even with my dry skin I can't handle tackiness like that. And it's the same thing for the blushes as well. If you're somebody who doesn't mind your hair getting stuck to your face, if you're somebody that doesn't mind like the feel, the sticky, the heaviness that like this gives you, then you might actually like these. And I know a lot of people that do. It's one of those things that I feel like I had high hopes for just simply because it's Fenty Beauty, of course. When it comes to cream and liquid blushes, like, I am here for it. One of my favorite cream bronzers is like the Huda Beauty, I think it's called the Tantour bronzer. I love how that performs and how it goes on the skin. It blends beautifully, there's no patchiness, you can see it, like, you know what I mean? I actually did try the blushes as like a little lip tint and it still is just like, I'm good. Okay, so the next product that I think I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of, it's not a bad product at all, it's actually pretty decent. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Setting Powder. I got the banana shade. I actually don't mind this powder at all. There's not a lot of negative things that I have to say about it, but just honestly, it's huge. It doesn't fit in my pile. And on top of that, it's not used as much as my Laura Mercier translucent, what is it, translucent banana or golden, the yellow one, the new yellow one that she came out with. Nothing's touching that right now. The Too Faced Peach Perfect powder is one of my favorite powders. Like, I have at least 3 or 4 powders in rotation that I absolutely love, and while I think this is a really good powder, it just doesn't stack up necessarily and I don't use it as much. The next product that I'm getting rid of, again, not a bad product. This is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. This foundation is a drugstore foundation. Obviously it's NYX. It's about $14, I want to say, and I picked up the shade, I think it's 15.8 Honey. It does match my skin tone pretty nicely, and although it's a matte foundation, it's not overtly drying. It doesn't dry my skin out. You don't get like a lot of emphasized texture. Like, it looks nice on the skin, and it does last a pretty good amount of time. I have way too many foundations just to keep something that's sitting there. That's really what it is. Like, I have way too many foundations to just keep certain things that I know I'm not gonna use again, that I haven't picked up in like a while. And instead of it just sitting there and going bad, I'm just gonna get rid of it and make room for new stuff, because I'm always buying stuff. Alright, so the last product is, I don't even know what to call this. This isn't necessarily like a product that's taking up space or anything like that, and I could probably put this in a fails video, but since we're here, and I really want to get rid of it, this is the Urban Decay Lash Freak Mascara. I don't know what this is. I don't know how this is supposed to work. Like, it grabbed my attention mainly because it has such a unique applicator, but also that's what I hate about it. All right, so it has one side that has all the prongs here. It has like a kind of ball on top, and then it has prongs all over the top of it. But for me, the actual prongs aren't long enough to move my lashes anywhere, And instead what ends up happening, no matter how much I wipe it off, my lashes end up really gunky. It just ends up getting mascara all over the place on me. And it's like I tried doing it like this, I tried doing it like this so much, but it just doesn't work for my lashes. It has like a slight fragrance in it, which I don't know why people put fragrance in mascara. I don't get it. Who's sniffing eyelashes? Even though it's not taking up that much space, I have tried this over and over again. This spoolie doesn't work in any direction. It's gunky, it's kind of gross, and it stinks. Alright guys, I think that is everything that I'm getting rid of so far. I probably still need to purge a little bit more, but I'm holding on to stuff for dear life. That's what I do. I keep, you know what, I try things for way longer than I should just to see if I'm completely sure it doesn't work. So when I do purge, I'm purging out of complete, like, this, it's not it. You know what I mean? Alright guys, that about does it for me. Hopefully this video was fun, entertaining, all that great stuff. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if the mood suits you, if it is in your spirit to do so. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.